Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your boy Matt Diazwell coming at you with another EP review. Today, I am checking out the bands Poser and Grasping at Straws with their latest split EP called Our Heart is a Garden, Our Head is a Grave. So these two bands, I couldn't really find too much information about them because they popped up on my Spotify playlist. Sounds like new music. Let's check them out. And what I can learn from them is Poser is more of a heavy gent deathcore band, and they're based out of the U.S. I can't really pinpoint where. While Grasping at Straws is more of a new metal deathcore band that is based out of Knoxville, Tennessee. So that's all the information I can really tell about the band that I know of. And so let's get into this review. What I've learned about Poser and Grasping at Straws that they are kind of like two sides of the same coin kind of situation. They are two very heavy, aggressive deathcore bands, but they use a lot of like overproducing techniques when making their music, to which, it kind of makes it seem like nothing that they're offering here is new to the listener if they've heard any deathcore from before. You could say that the bands were kind of interchangeable on this split in terms of like if you just, switch up the name titles on some songs, you might not be able to see what a big difference the two bands are. From the heavy tuned guitar riffs, the blood curdling vocals, the blistering fast drumming, the big breakdowns, and super clean production, it's just nothing that you haven't seen before. It's all really cool, but nothing about it is refreshing, new, or unique at all. It's pretty standard in the books of deathcore, I feel. It almost feels like they're just trying a little too hard to be heavy because they were able to listen to bands that came out before, and those bands, they didn't have a real template when it came to being heavy or starting the deathcore style. They had other bands that were like, oh, we like this influence, and kind of fused it, while these bands feel like, oh, we just like that band, we want to do kind of exactly what they're doing, and that's what it feels like. So some of the songs just come off really bland. And I have said that these bands sound super similar, but I will say there were times when they were noticeably different, but those moments just didn't happen that often. First noticeable thing on the Poser side of the split is like they go really heavy in the first song. They're ripping really hard, playing really heavy, but towards the end of the song, it kind of smoothly transitions into a slow acoustic song with some really good clean singing. And I will say I was thoroughly surprised at how good of a transition they were able to do. It wasn't so abrupt. It just kind of slowly kind of went into it, and they pulled it off. I would say that was one of the more enjoyable things about the Poser side of the EP and the EP as a whole. So I want to play a clip of that for you so you can see the sense of clean singing they have here that sounds pretty good. His clean vocals sound really good, and I gotta say, maybe it's not an acoustic guitar, but it's more just like, not heavy riffing electric guitar, if I'm correct. It has two songs on this EP, and outside those clean singing vocals, most of it is just really heavy, like super deathcore style music that reminds me of Veil of Maya and Die Art is Murder. And I gotta say that these guys are not afraid to show their influences when making their music because they're trying to sound very similar to them, but kind of more of a bigger and bolder sense with heavier, like cleaner production. So it's like if you had those older first Veil of Maya albums, Die Art is Murder, where they're really rough and kind of like not the best, but with cleaner production. This is what you get with the band Poser, I think. And so I think it comes off a little bit too clean at times when it should have a little bit more grittiness to it. So I'll play a clip of Big Grin so you can get a sense of that big energy they have here, but it's just a little bit too polished, I feel. Good songs, but they just don't have that grit, that dirtiness from being like a low budget effort, I feel. Now, the Grasping at Straw side of the EP is pretty straightforward in terms of their delivery. Short, heavy, deathcore style songs that, are just heavy, heavy, heavy. There's not a lot being offered here, I feel like, unless you really just want a lot of heavy, short songs, then you're going to really enjoy this band. I definitely say if you're like into Kubla Khan TX, you might like their side of the EP more because they have a similar kind of groovy style to them, but just a little bit leaning more towards deathcore, while Kubla's more metalcore. But there's some like overlap there a little bit, particularly on the song Return to Sender. They've got some like grooviness to them here and there, so I'll play a clip of that for you right now. Those little like guitar pinches here and there kind of give it a little bit of a new metal feel to it as well. Yeah, are there songs really heavy with Grasping at Straws? Yeah. Riffs, drums, bass, vocals, everything. They're all pretty heavy, but never distinctly different the way they're playing. Because that one song I just played the clip of for you, it all kind of just sounds similar. Like, yeah, I would say the best thing about them that they're short. That's the most noticeable thing. They're short, quick, easy songs to digest. And if you need your fill of a heavy song real quick, they will do it for you. And it's really hard to pick too much about them that is very different. Just they got short, heavy songs, I think. It's always nice to see bands come together to make a split because you get like two for the price of one. Get a nice lot of variation with the music depending on the band styles. But with this split here, you're kind of just getting the same thing over and over, I think. And it's cool that the bands are doing it, get more exposure. That's great. But if you've heard other heavy deathcore bands and heavy metalcore bands, you might have heard everything you've heard on here. Good, clean production, I guess. It can be a little bit too sterile at times, but heavy riffs, fast drum playing, and hard deathcore style vocals. Yeah, so I would say the split from Poser and Grasping at Straws is a good and solid. I don't even think it's solid. It's okay. 6.5 out of 10. So links down below. Check them out. Tell me what you think about them. And until next time, guys, I am Matt from Diazable, and I will see you in the pit.